Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Sports Bitches. It's your three favorite bitches, Sarah Tiana, Rachel Panetta, and Megan Gailey, who is in an undetermined location.
A suite, it looks like.
You're in the Middle East.
I'm not. I'm in Boston. I'm in Boston. Today is game 3 of the NBA Finals. So I'm doing this tour. Today is the first stop of what is a 10-day tour. I have so much anxiety about it. It's very hard to leave our house. And I was traveling all last week. I went to Portland, and then we went to Palm Springs for the Bachelorette, which I'll get to. I flew to Boston today. I knew it was game 3, and then as we were texting when we were on the plane, Sarah reminded it's also the Tom Brady Hall of Fame induction. And then when I got into the lobby of my hotel, which is fucking chaos. Just people, what? I mean, it's one of those massive hotels where there's a big convention happening, and everyone in their eyes is just I want to cheat on my wife. It is full... It is full adultery vibes in the lobby. Then I realized there's also a Red Sox game happening today.
Oh my God, this is Boston heaven for these people.
Is it also the Boston Marathon?
Yeah, it's also the Boston Marathon. A Boston market is opening in my hotel suite. The Dunkin' CEO is coming to give me a lap dance. It is so
Mark
intense.
Wahlberg is singing the national anthem just in the streets.
It is so crazy and chaotic. I can't believe I'm going to be doing stand-up tonight. Who is going to be there? I have sold some
Apparently
tickets.
A lot of people, because you sold some tickets.
There you go. Sold some tickets.
Comedy
are they going to be dorks?
Timing.
Are they going to be dorks? What am I going to talk to these people that clearly hate sports about?
Imagine you just come into this bar and you just start shitting on all of these people, and they're like, "What did we do?"
Yeah, what did we do? We're talking about the tickets.
Listen, I snapped. I had a full breakdown at a corporate event last week, and guess what the corporation was? My own husband's company. So we are operating in chaos. I do want us to talk about the Bachelorette party of all Bachelorette parties that took place this past weekend.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, we honestly had to take last week off because there was so much preparation happening for the Bachelorette party, and now you both look tan. I'm not, and that's a testament to my sunscreen and hat wearing. Rachel, what does your heart say post Bachelorette?
First off, I'll say that I did get a spray tan ahead of the Bachelorette, and then I think I have a gnarly ass sunburn that is just lying underneath the spray tan. My body is so hot and itchy that I think that's the only answer as to what that could be. I had so much fun. I was just telling Sarah before you signed in, I think I'm still hungover, and it's been a full 4 days since I've had alcohol. I don't think I've ever partied that. I don't think I've ever gone that hard. I don't think I've ever seen as many bare boobies as I've had as I did on the weekend. Full blast. Everyone's saying, I'm sure that they're just being nice, but everyone's saying 10 out of 10, best Bachelorette.
10 out of 10. I had a moment because, going into it, I go, any type of large event like this, there is a common enemy, and that is just needed. So there is someone to direct sort of strife towards whether they deserve it or not. And midday Saturday, I took 2 puffs of a joint, and I'm like, wow, it's so weird. There's no common enemy. And then the weed paranoia stepped in, and I go, I must be the common enemy.
No, one of my favorite parts was just the house was massive, and then just looking at any corner, there was 2 people paired off that didn't know each other. Everyone was just really getting along and just hanging out. The party bus that we had, that somebody lost their phone. Were you guys around for that part?
Oh yeah, I was DJ, remember?
Okay, just for the listeners at home, in a party bus, there's the distinct window between the
divider.
driver.
Divider.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Yeah, driver, roll up the partition, please. Shout outs to our guy Benjamin. Somebody dropped their fucking phone in between the partition. That's so difficult to do, and somebody did it. And I came to the rescue with golf clubs that we randomly had at our house because we had a mini putt course and got it the hell out of there.
At the moment that was happening, I was inside baking cookies and talking to a woman I had met 24 hours prior about her last relationship and what she needs going forward. And I did see someone come in and get tongs out of the kitchen and then go to the party bus, and I thought nothing of it. I go, well, there must be something hot off the grill.
It was a full blast. We went to a Mexican restaurant. I feel like that was a little bit of a mistake because everyone is eating Tums by the end of it.
So tired after.
Casino, I blew Sarah's $100. Sarah, I need to Venmo you $100. I suck at slots, and then we danced.
We did have a sports triumph that I'll never let anyone forget. Rachel and I.
Tell the people.
Rachel and I had never played pickleball before. I actually have a joke about I have a joke about how I think pickleball is ruining the world. Rachel had never played pickleball before. Two pickleball virgins beat a former Division I athlete and another lady who's got to be an athlete. Very toned, gorgeous arms.
She's jacked. Yeah. Sing it from the rooftops. Athletes. I think athletes is what our new title is. We are the athletes in this.
It was really, really fun. Like, you did a really good job planning it. The house was incredible. It was so beautiful. The beds were super comfy.
They were.
Like, that's like the old lady in me being like, the beds were really
The beds were comfortable. The coffee was hot in the morning.
Important.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think anyone puked. I don't think anyone yacked.
No one
I
puked.
thought about it. I did think about it. I
cried. I cried to Sarah.
Yeah.
I told Sarah that I've never had a sister and that she's my sister. This is on the dance floor of the Mexican restaurant to the classic rock cover band.
And was the older gentleman just kind of like dancing up on you guys? Because he was hungry for a little salsa, if you know what I mean.
I kept coming back to the table being like, we could have sex with anyone in the band. And everyone's like, we don't want to. I'm like, just so you know, the offer's there.
There was a gigantic shot of tequila sent to our table at one point, and Brigitte, shout out to Brigitte, no one even saw.
No.
She quickly dumped it in a water glass, poured the water glass in the shot, handed it back to me. I stood up and went, yay! And everyone's like, holy shit! And I threw it back, and everyone was concerned for me at that point because they were like, that was a lot of tequila.
It was a lot.
But it was just water. It was just water.
Yeah, it
Yep.
was. I have to say, it was the best Bachelorette party I've ever been to. But then I realized it's
You've never been to one before.
I've never been to one.
I'll take it.
It set the gold standard for sure.
I had so much fun. I had so much fun. I felt so loved. I can't wait for the wedding. Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, Megan did a really good job of getting Zach that video. Like, it was clearly that Megan had done this before, and I had never.
Yeah,
done
Meg,
it,
seasoned pro.
Like,
I thought that we had a lot of gals at ours, but Megan had 22 people at your Bachelorette.
21 women, 1 man.
Crazy.
Too many. Too many.
We had the 1 man.
You always need an ally.
Yeah, you do. And my 1 man was straight, and so he did fight people at the club who kept trying to come up to me. So
I love
that
that.
was good. Yeah, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
there was a lot of girl power. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was our incredible weekend together. What if we went on the Bachelorette party and then never did this show again?
That would have been pretty
And they never
scandalous.
spoke ever again.
We have so much to talk about because so much has happened in the world of sports and in the world of bitches. And the most bitches that came out was after Caitlin Clark was announced to not be on the USA women's basketball team for the Olympics. There are 12 roster spots. She is not on them. There was a lot of outrage on both sides.
Yeah.
A lot of opinions. And I guess I'm curious as to what you guys' opinion is, because for me personally, I wanted to see her on there. I know that she's probably tired and she needs like a break, but like people keep saying like, well, who would you take off? Who would you take off? And I go, well, Chelsea Gray for starters, like, she's injured. Like, I don't even know if she can play in the Olympics, but she's on the team. So, like, I don't understand that. Maybe she'll be healthy enough to play by the time July starts in a month. And maybe this is all part of it. Like, oh, Caitlin will just be like an alternate or something. But like for them to say that somehow she doesn't have the numbers and she's not good yet, which I agree, she is not as good as some other women in the league, and that makes perfect sense. And obviously she has turnovers, like a problem with turnovers. I think part of that is just like not being in sync with her team. But her and Diana have the exact same numbers for the whole year. And I'm sorry, but I don't give a shit about seeing Diana Taurasi win her 7th gold medal. Like, I really don't care.
I really honestly agree with everything you just said. I also totally agree with people that are like, hey, just because she is the most popular doesn't mean she belongs on the team. I do think there's a world where it's like, could we split the difference, and could there be like a popularity spot? Like Christian Laettner,
a personality hire,
was on the original Dream Team because he was like the #1 college player at that time. What I honestly feel about Caitlin Clark and her aside, I actually think that she is handling everything better than I would, for sure.
Yes,
everyone,
for
sure. And you guys know I am impassioned. I speak with my hands. When I have arguments with my husband, he asks me to move my head less. Like, I went to public school, and it is in my heart. When every Caitlin Clark story or situation, people come in at such a 10, and they're so impassioned, and it's like, can we just take it down a notch? Like, this is all good. This is all positive. We've got eyeballs on women's sports. We've got people talking about it. But the way I see people ripping each other apart if they don't agree with one single Caitlin Clark thing, it's starting to make me feel like I'm an old man, and I'm just like, everybody's got to chill out. Like, yes, I wish she was on the team. I get why she's not.
Yeah, she's going to have the Tom Brady effect. I hated Tom Brady for the longest time, and I didn't even watch football. People just like to hate people who are popular and are doing well at something. And I think that what she's shown us in the first few weeks of her playing in the WNBA, or the first few months, is that she doesn't really give a shit. It doesn't seem like she's really paying attention, and she like actually just like loves her sport and is probably just watching tape like Tom Brady. Like, that's the best kind of comparison that you can give her. Also, the thing about sports media, we all yap way too fucking much. She could have said, hey, she could have had a conversation with the board of directors and been like, I'm exhausted and I am handling a lot right now. I'm good for this year. Call me next year. We don't know what's happening. We don't know next year what those conversations are like.
in 4 years.
Whatever.
In 4 years.
Call me next term. But we don't know. We don't know what she's doing. We like to yap a lot, and then it gets blown up and blown up and blown up into something that it's not.
And I know you're exactly right. I know that that's like the market, and I think like when I turn on the sports television now, I call every show a yelling show because it's just people yelling at each other. And it's like, I miss some of the fun. I miss some of the jokes. I miss the OG Sports Center that felt like a celebration and not just like, I'm going to have a hot take and I'm going to burn down your house because you have a hot take. Like, let's all just calm down.
How would you guys be handling, if you were in Caitlin Clark's shoes right now, how do you think that you would be coping with it? What kind of things would you be doing? Like, I literally would not have a cell phone. I think I'd get rid of my cell phone and just have like a flip phone that's like a landline. Yeah, I would.
You would make sure on the partition.
Do you guys watch The Crown? There's like an episode where the Queen reads the newspaper every single morning, and then something bad came out about the Queen, and they all had to hide every single newspaper that was like around her on that day. I'd be like Queen Elizabeth in that moment. I'd be like, destroy all news. I don't want to read or hear anything.
Because I have to imagine she has so many really very qualified people who have been in this situation reaching out to her. Like, I'm sure Peyton Manning has talked to her. I'm sure, like,
LeBron.
Like, I do think a lot of people that, and it would almost be like, you got to pick your top two. Because, like, don't you ever get advice from people that you really, really respect, and then you get advice from another person that you really respect, and they're the exact opposite, and then you're like, well, do I pick Michael Jordan, or do I pick Tom Brady? Like, I really feel for her. I truly am so glad for her that she is in a small market. I can't imagine if this would be even worse if she was in LA or New York. But if I were her, I would honestly, like, I would donate $1 million on Juneteenth to Black women, and then everything else I think she's doing is pretty good.
Yeah, I agree.
I obviously I think that she's handling all of it with grace, and the attention is overwhelming. And I think, but to me personally, I think all the drama that continues to happen around her is just making her more and more popular. Like, I know that there are several women in the league that do not like her. Like, Taurasi refuses to give her a compliment ever.
So lame.
It's very much like, you know how Joe Montana will always change the subject when you bring up Tom Brady. It's very much like that, and it's very deliberate, and it's catty, and it's frankly unprofessional. And I get it. Like, I get it that, like, you feel like you were the pioneer of the sport and everyone likes her better. And that's very difficult when, like, some young hotshot comes in. It happens in comedy, you know?
TikTok,
I was just thinking that.
And then
I was just thinking that.
This bitch.
Yeah, right? I'm like, oh, I guess I'm Diana Taurasi.
I totally understand Taurasi's point of view, but at the same time, like, they are just making Caitlin Clark more powerful, and like her story, and the more people hate on her, the more they mock her for like getting a foul, the more they push her down on the court. They are just making her more popular, and like I hope that they understand. I don't know if that's calculated, because if it is, it's brilliant, because it's only putting more eyes on the sport. But like, I'm sorry that I know people love Angel Reese, and I know people are appreciative of who she is as a player, but like, it is not the same. It is not, not the same amount of people are watching you. And like, for you to go out there and say, like, people are watching me too, it's like, yes, of course people are watching you too, but it's like,
I think the silence that Caitlin is giving off of is way cooler. It's way like, she's like, I don't give a shit. Powerful. I'm here to play basketball. It's way more powerful. And honestly, Caitlin Clark is not being asked about Caitlin Clark, so I don't know. You know, so it's like, it must be very frustrating.
It's got to be like, so annoying
for Angel and Asia and all these people to like, she's not even in their game, and they're being asked, you know, they're not playing against her, and they might still be, and that's very ridiculous for reporters to even do that. I
will say, it's got to be difficult, especially being a woman in comedy, being a woman in sports. There are so few opportunities. So when you do feel like somebody is popping off, it does feel like, and I know it's not true, and I know it's not right to think this way, but we can't help it because there are so few of us. It does feel like somebody is taking an opportunity away from you. They're taking fans away from you. And I do feel like it probably is difficult to deal with, especially with, you know, Diana, all these girls have been playing basketball for the longest time. And then all of a sudden it feels like overnight, obviously there was some popularity in the WNBA last year, but it's not like what it was this year right now. And there's that's human. I feel like that's kind of human. That's difficult.
No, it absolutely is. And I think society has set us up to feel that way. I mean, that's the patriarchy, to be like, okay. And to Angel's credit, when she's saying like, oh, just as many people are watching me, I think she knows that's not entirely true, but like, without Angel and them having that sort of like epic NCAA battle, I don't know that Caitlin becomes the superstar that she does. I will say
I
the
think
good
Angel
news,
is cool as hell.
Angel is a badass, and when the Sky come to LA, I'm gonna go see them. Like, I want to see the Sky. I want to see the Aces. I want to see all these other teams in addition to Caitlin Clark, because now I do know more. The 400,000 fans have attended games since the start of the season. That's the highest in the entirety of the league, and viewership is up 156%. So the numbers are there. It's all good. It really is like, it does reaffirm, especially as a woman in a male-dominated field, how dumb men sound when they talk about women sometimes. Because
or
it's just
anything.
like, yeah, we really need a lot less of you yelling. We really do.
We need more sports bitches is what we need. It really
do.
reminded me, the Angel thing just made me think of, Sarah, I don't think that you are watching Perfect Match on Netflix like Megan and I are, but there's one guy that keeps on saying, I got so many girls in my DMs, I'm gonna be fine, I don't need this show, I got so many girls in my DMs. And you're like, you've not got no one. Your cousin's probably messaged you once or twice, but that's it.
And it's like, get off the show. Get off the show then.
Yeah, if you have so many gals, leave.
I think it's very important that we have both the dynamics. You know, I mean, me personally, I'm just not someone that talks about myself and my greatness, you know, and I feel like, you know, because, I mean, what would I say? I wouldn't say anything. But, like, I feel like it's, whenever I'm watching Caitlyn and some of these other women, I'm like, it just reminds me of that Walter Payton quote that's like, when you're good, you tell everyone. When you're great, they tell you. And,
yeah, I like that.
And I'm like, why do these people like just have to talk about how great they like?
Yeah,
it's like there's other women in the league too, and I'm like, and yes, you're getting more eyeballs on you because more and more people are watching. But are they grabbing onto new players? Because when I watch, I go, who the fuck is that bitch? Who's doing that? Like that's what I'm not like. What's instilled in my brain is the Kennedy Clarks, you know, like that, watching that. And I'm like, well, now I know her name, but not for the right reason.
Yeah.
It's just,
I feel like
it's so, we'll continue to talk about this, but it's just so, it's so much bigger than just women's basketball. It's such a, it takes true like understanding and grace when it comes to gender, race, socioeconomics. Like it really is a microcosm of so many things that are happening in our society. And I do think that's why people are so fascinated by it, for good and for bad.
I feel like on the heels of that quote, I shouldn't have told you guys I got Botox this morning, and I should have just let you be like, wow, she looks great.
When Sarah said that quote, I was like, well, I guess I'm only good because I talk about it a lot.
Okay, let's move on to our final topic here. So Aaron Rodgers, he's missing minicamp. Robert Saleh has said that he's over-communicated. He knew that Aaron Rodgers was going to miss, and everyone's overreacting about it. But he's missing it because an event that was important to him. So he's subject to fines of $16,000, $33,000, $50,000 for missing all 3 days. The fines go up with the 3 days, totaling $100,000. So where the hell is Aaron Rodgers? What do we think? Is there some kind of like weird Scientology event this weekend?
Sarah, will you say the absolutely hilarious tweet that you had this morning or yesterday?
I said, well, I definitely know it's not a family event.
I'm done.
Okay, so it's like
I think he could. Colin Cowherd. It's like, even if it was a funeral, he's like, no, I have something else.
No, I've got. I'm gonna go sit outside.
Colin Cowherd said he was in Europe, and I'm like, if he's in Europe, then he's probably just going to cathedrals and being like, these were built with power tools. You know that, right? Like,
you see the markings on the wall? That was from a drill.
Yeah, you see that? Not from the 1600s because they didn't have power tools.
I feel like he's sacrificing a baby to save his Achilles.
They have this schedule so far in advance. Like it's like you're also Aaron Rodgers. So there's, even if the Scientologists are doing something or there's some, it's like you can move it. So I'm wondering.
Is he a Scientologist?
No, I don't think so, but he does seem like he would be.
But I could see him going for like a day, you know, to be like, well, I explore all. That's like whenever celebrities are outed, they're like, well, you know, I like to learn about faith, and it's like, okay, you're a Scientologist. When I think of men doing stuff that they don't want us to know about, I think of like penis enlargement surgery or the hair transplant. Now he does have good hair, but that could be an optical illusion. So it's like, I think it's something perhaps medical, but not football related medical, that he's like, I got to get done now before the season starts.
What if he comes back like Ryan Gosling, just very like
blonde,
with
Gosling on the Barbie tour,
with a huge bulge? Like, what if his bulge has grown like 3
he got
sizes?
Penis enlargements?
It's a really good point, Megan, because I mean, he's been playing football for 18 years.
Yeah, he knows the schedule.
He knows when minicamp is. Like, it's the same
Well, that's what
every year.
Coach said. That's what Salah said. Like, I knew this ahead of time.
I think he's lying.
So what is something what's something that you got to schedule like 6 months out?
I think
maybe he is wearing a toupee. Are you guys on toupee TikTok?
Oh yeah.
No.
I don't want to be.
Oh honey, I'm locked in.
I don't want to be, but they keep sending it to me. But I think Robert Saleh is lying. I think the Jets I think they are not pleased. I think maybe they knew a week or two ago, and what are they going to do? Throw Aaron Rodgers under the bus? But it's like, Aaron Rodgers, you played, what, three snaps? These Delta earbuds. You played 3 snaps. You're making hundreds of millions of dollars. Whatever it is, you need to fucking be there, you idiot.
I feel like he read an article about like if he removes like a couple of organs, his body would be functioning better, and
he can suck his own dick. If he gets his ribs
removed his ribs.
He can suck his own dick.
Ribs.
The Marilyn Manson. He went into the doctor. He said, "Give me the Marilyn Manson and suck the vaccine out of me."
Wait, I thought that was a myth. Did he?
It is.
That was
no, it
true,
is.
right?
It is.
Okay, because for a long time I did believe that he did that, and I was like, this guy's a freak.
I know. I think like his PR people must have started that. You know, I'm gonna start a rumor about you guys removing your ribs.
Guys, this is what you're not gonna get. This is what you're not gonna get on regular sports television. This is what Sports Bitches provides.
Only the shit
is deep analysis.
They're not doing
those,
sucking
like,
your own dick on first take.
This mini camp is actually not that important. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's not like he was at OTAs, which is more important. But
But it's just
like,
rude.
It is rude. I mean, it is rude.
You're the leader of
but
your squad.
It's a story, and it's fun because it's Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I
course.
was just about to say. That's why I'm
like-
so excited for this season and that he's going to be back and playing is because we can just shit
Yes.
talk him
Because
every
Hassan Reddick
episode.
is like missing it too, but it's,
Yeah.
it's for contractual reasons, which
Right.
I always respect. I'm like, get your money, buddy.
For
Get
sure.
that money.
Especially
So,
NFL
like,
players.
But like, if Aaron Rodgers just said what he was missing it for, I'd probably respect him more. But he's always got to be like secretive and elusive, and
yeah.
like, and it's like, all right.
He's
What if
got
he's
real.
getting a tattoo of a gigantic eagle on his back, wearing a
But you
Jets
know what?
jersey?
But you know what? Anthony Richardson got like full anesthesia to get his back tattoo, and he did it weeks ago because he's a leader of a team. That's what you got to do. You got to, like, Anthony Richardson's been in like 1 year, and he knows the schedule better than Aaron Rodgers. I love how I was like, people are too impassioned, and then you bring up Aaron Rodgers, and I'm ready to burn down this entire city.
He removed ribs. He removed ribs.
He's just like such a fun, and I know this
He
is
really
mean
is.
because he is a person. He's just such a fun punching bag, and he's made
really
himself
is.
that, so it doesn't really like feel that mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, it's really hard to go from first to worst that quickly. Like, he was so
Loved
beloved,
him.
so beloved,
Loved him.
so beloved.
Who
Then
would be?
Then he lies, and then he walks it, like, then he gets caught. Then he's, like,
You know,
gets scrutinized, and he doesn't handle the scrutiny, and then all of a sudden, everything happened from there. Because he could not handle a tiny bit of criticism.
Yeah. I stepped on his foot once. I didn't know it was his. I was moved to the side because Michelle Obama was being brought through, and they were like, "Move, move."
I'm sorry.
And
What?
this is backstage at
This is
the
not how every story starts.
backstage at the ESPYs. They were like, "Move, move, move." So I like stepped, and I had like, you know, big heels on. I stepped on a man's foot, and I turned. I was like, "I'm so sorry," and it was Aaron Rodgers, and he was so nice, and I was ready to love him till the day I died. But then he got his
Who
own
would
ribs
be real-
removed.
Okay, signing off. One last question. You know how Aaron Rodgers is on Pat McAfee's show every single Tuesday, or I don't know if they're even doing that anymore. Once we get into the season, who would be our Aaron Rodgers for Sports Bitches?
Ooh.
Who do we want on?
Who would we want on that would give us chaotic takes about the NFL? Johnny Manziel? I feel like we can make that happen.
That would be amazing.
I love that female ref whose name I don't remember.
Sarah.
I love her with her ponytail.
The blonde one?
Yeah, she
Sarah
looks like
Hyland?
She looks like not Sarah Hyland is the one with the big old hooters that
Actress?
was on Modern Family.
I'm dead.
No. Sarah. I think her name is Sarah Hyland, the ref.
Is it? Let me look it up.
If I got that right, I'm taking a victory lap.
I know her name is Sarah.
No, Sarah Hyland is the actress. Sarah Thomas.
What the?
Thomas. Yes. Super cutie. If you would want her.
Yeah, I feel like she's got some good tea that she's probably signed a lot of NDAs.
I like that.
But she'd be fun. Or like a female owner.
Jerry Jones' secret daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah, I feel like NFL players who like have stories are always fun. Maybe you could get Antonio Brown to come on and praise you for being Cracker of the Week, Rachel.
That's 3 weeks in a row that we mentioned Cracker of the Week. I think we need to make a segment.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that one. That's a good question.
Okay, Meg, you've got some comedy shows to do. I'm going to take a nap. Sarah.
Boston is a wash. Can I plug my other shows, though?
Please.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to Burlington, Vermont tomorrow. I'll be there the 13th through the 15th. Those shows are going to be really fun. Burlington, Vermont, gorgeous in the summer.
Yeah.
And then I'll be in Stamford, Connecticut on the 19th. I got to be honest, those tickets are selling like J-Lo's tour. Okay, I need you to show up in Stamford, Connecticut. And then I'll be in Brooklyn, June 20th. Those tickets could be selling better. Brooklyn, come on, I live there. And then Philly on June 21st. Remember, the Pacers knocked out the Knicks, and all these Sixers fans said, whatever you need, whatever you want. I want you to come out to Punchline in Philly on June 21st.
There you go.
Nice. Go.
Love it.
Go see Megan. She's great.
Do you have a name for this tour, Meg?
So I just called it the East Coast Tour, but then between making the flyers and now, I decided that this was my Hot MILF Summer. So it's East Coast Tour / Hot MILF Summer Tour.
Pickleball champion, Hot MILF Summer.
Pickleball champion. I've had a lot of laser hair removal. I'm ready. All
right.
All right. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. To the good ones.
Shout
to
outs.
The good ones.
To the good
Chris,
ones. To the good ones.
CJ,
only.
future Zach. Happy Father's Day.
I like that. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Love yas.
Love ya.